All right. Hello, everyone. My name is James Kurtzak. If you don't know me, feel free to say hi after this. I'm just going to go over relatively briefly some of the projects that we have that you guys can work on. We have 8 in total, 7 of which are covered inside this project ideas chat. Just want to make sure, can you guys see the project ideas chat? It should be under the CM24 Builders channel. This one right here, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. As far as zooming goes, likely not. I don't think Discord has that functionality, but, what's that? Oh, louder, louder, louder. Sorry, I'm so used to a microphone. Yeah, so we have 8 projects in total, right? 7 of which are covered inside this project ideas channel. And you guys can look at that like in your free time in order to get more of the details. One project is not included in there because it's a lot more vague. It's specifically Chainlink, and it's just do something Chainlink, right? Whereas everything else is more specific. So I'm going to go down these project ideas one by one to get a general feel for it, okay? So alt layer is our first sort of project proposal. As you can see, it's rather expansive, like what you can work on. We have these categories here, depend, payments, DeFi, gambling even, if you guys want to do something more risque, and they have some information here. Down the list, we have the project proposal from ZKM as well, and I can open that up for like more information. A lot of these will have links to like some sort of Google form, or sorry, Google document, following a template, whereas some of the other project proposals actually link to a website that they have, and that will be more relevant for the last one I'm going to show you guys. So you'll also notice a lot of these are ZK related, and I think that is representative of the fact that we have so many ZK mentors and so much ZK interest at the Invisible Garden event in general. That said, I'm sure you guys will recognize that a lot of these sponsors are broader in category, right? So ZKM. Solving X GitHub ticket. I'm still in communications with their team. You'll see this here. But they might want some assistance with specific open issues that they have. Otherwise, it's really just integrating their technology. Orbiter is a recent sponsor of us, right? Raise of hands. How many of you guys are familiar with Orbiter? Okay, so a smaller amount. I recommend definitely looking into just their official website to get a feel for them. If you guys have any specific questions or would like to talk to the team, not just for them, but like for the mentors being provided by sponsors as well as you're exploring these projects, just reach out to me and I'll set up those communication channels. Push staking, we already went over this, I believe, last week, but yeah, it's it's pretty cool. Who here was not there for the push presentation? We had a whole slide deck and everything. Okay, so not going over that in its entirety, but essentially it's a modification of the existing staking that they have. So that's more in the, I guess, DeFi category. And I'm saving this one for last. Yeah, Nethermind as well. Nethermind assists the Ethereum Foundation in our research. They're a little bit different from our sponsors in the fact that they're less focused on a specific product, but rather, the Ethereum ecosystem as a whole. Likewise, if you guys are more interested in the research category, I recommend working on this. Brevis as well. Brevis is a really cool sponsor. Zoe was actually here earlier in the week. But I believe some of their team might be joining us later October as well. So if you guys are working on that, you might be able to get some face-to-face time with the mentors who are coming. Theirs is a bit more specific rather than some of the other project proposals that we've seen that are more broad. But again, you can check it out here. And lastly, we have Polygon, and they have this SoulForge project. You really should click this link here, and the reason for that is twofold. So Polygon has a $100,000 US prize pool, and they also have a deadline of the 11th for project proposal submissions. So this is a bit different because this is like their sort of external hackathon website, right? And they have like their own team of internal judges that are going to like decide whether or not that's a valid proposal. And if it is deemed valid, and I'm not sure when the distribution of funds actually occur, but if it's deemed valid, they'll actually distribute like 20% of the grant funds. So if you check that box, you're already going to be getting some money in order to incentivize continuing working on that. So if you're interested in that, you got to do it ASAP. Moreover, the idea of this is that during our event, during our closing ceremony when we award grants and everything, we're coordinating with this first milestone here. Ultimately, you have 2 months to work on whatever this project is, so you can continue, after Invisible Garden in order to reach whatever second milestone is included in your proposal. So really cool, and we're going to be doing some announcements on socials. And if Ayush is here, I might even have him, sort of speak and field some questions later on for you guys. So, yeah, the goal for today is team formations and deciding what projects you'd like to work on, right? Obviously, with some of the more generic stuff, you can fit it in with some of the specific stuff. I mean, Chainlink, for example, it's on-chain metrics, right? And you can apply that to a variety of use cases, even if you're doing something like GameFi, right? So yeah, more or less that's that. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask me after, well, right now, I guess. What's up, Moose?
So at the end, like let's say if I worked on the push project, at the end, am I just presenting my smart contract or something else?
If you work on the push project, are you presenting your smart contract? Yes, so we're going to have a closing ceremony week. I understand not all of the builders are going to be here, but yeah, we'll present the projects to everyone, with team assistance as well. And then we'll have a panel of judges which are going to determine like how good the code is, and then obviously you're still going to present it and explain it almost in like layman's terms, if you're able to. That does remind me, we are currently discussing as a team how we're going to handle projects during the closing ceremony where the team can't be here because some people are leaving, for DevCon, and so I think we're going to have some remote functionality for that as well. Additionally, Push is the only one Polygon is the only one with a number value tied to it, like a grant award. We're still waiting on some of the sponsors to communicate that. I'm chasing them down. So yeah, some of these other projects are also going to have a monetary component to incentivize building. Cool. Any other questions from you guys? How many of you guys already know what you want to work on? Okay, so that's 4 people. Again, our goal today is builders deciding what they want to work on, so I recommend reading through these documentation, or scanning it first and then like reading heavily. I think we might even have some sort of poll within the Discord channel, so it's easier for people to find other builders who are interested in working with them. Again, raise of hands, how many of you guys have already formed teams? Okay, has anyone not formed, or like okay, so Moose. Okay, those are the hands. Everyone should look around of people you should talk to. So, cool. Any questions?
we also have like projects. I guess that's like the project and team information channel, right? There are also projects there.
Yeah.
I think it's like we should just look at all of the different sources, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's a very good point. So you'll notice the project ideas, and I think we should actually rename that, like maybe sponsor project proposals. They're broad enough that you can, fit your project ideas. For example, what Vitalik was talking about. I'm sure there's a way that can coincide with some of our sponsor stuff. So that said, whatever you're working on, it has to at least be one of the sponsor project proposals. So yeah, it can't not be related to at least one. Additionally, you could work on multiple sponsor project proposals. There's really no limit. So.
Wait, can you say that again? We have to work on a sponsored proposal.
Correct. Whatever you're doing has to integrate with that in some way. It's not just a freebie hackathon. Yeah. So that said, there's enough variety in there that it can coincide rather painlessly with whatever you're working on. For example, some of the Nethermind stuff is very, very broad. So, yeah.
So those guys that are working on the ideas in Metallic about the voice recognition.
Yeah.
But that's not a sponsored project.
Correct. Yeah, so you have a lot of latitude as far as what your projects can be. They just have to work within one of the sponsored projects. So, for example, and I don't think this applies, but it would be like integrating a Chainlink API, for example. The reason for that is the sponsors are the people who made this possible. That's why we could provide free accommodation. And so, we need to help them out too. I'm not sure how it's been communicated thus far, but we're going to have a job fair at the conclusion of the event. For the sponsors that are here, this could potentially line up into, an opportunity for the builders present, whether it be like working with them directly or continuing whatever projects you're building on in the future. Our goal really is to have these projects continue and not just collect dust at the conclusion of the event. So, yeah.
Would it be possible to do like just a Google Doc with a list of all the projects and the teams? Because, for example, might be helpful for me to check who's working what, because I want to choose one of these sponsor projects without knowing that someone else might already do that. Might be cool to work together on it. It's just better to get an overview, basically, of who's working on what.
Yeah, so that's one of the goals again for today, is people to decide that, and then we're going to be putting it inside of a list. In fact, we might even make that an editable list for you guys, so you guys can add your projects and sort of have some real-time visibility. Yeah.
Also, you can also comment on the topics.
Yeah,
so if you're interested on something, you can put something that you're interested, and maybe another person that is also wants to work on that project.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Just like, because we just had a show of hands who already has found a group, and I think only who's not found a group, and I think only 3 people raised their hand. So apparently everyone already found a group, but I'm not seeing it reflected in Discord. So I don't know who's working on what, basically, even after what you say.
Yeah, but I mean, we still didn't have the project.
That's true. Yeah, no, I get it.
So that was not a priority. Right now it is. So right now, you should try to find some people to work with you, and also if you are struggling to find someone, you can always reach to us or any other mentor and ask for help, and we can also try to help you find someone or find a project that might be interested for you.
So for example, the push project, it's one smart contract. Like, how would you work on it too? I feel like, one person can just build a smart contract. Like, it doesn't need a team, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you don't necessarily need a team. You can work alone. For obvious reasons, you can, in many cases, build more, whether it's taller or wider, with more hands. So Muz, are you going to be a one-person army?
No, but whoever would like to join me, I just want to know how would 2 people build one smart contract.
No, but you can also do something else.
Yeah.
You don't need specifically to work only on that project.
Mm.
You can form a team and maybe you can both work on that project. And since you are like 2 or 3 and will do fast, you can also work on some other project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with that in mind too, forming teams are not mutually exclusive. Like if you're desiring to work on more than one thing, you can be part of more than one team. Yeah.
Just make sure to commit when you're committing with someone,
Yeah.
some team, or with some project. Just make sure that you really commit and you do actually.
I don't understand the EVS on wish list because it's a very generic list.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw the same.
What's the rule?
It's the outlier.
Yeah.
Can
Oh,
you
yeah.
open it?
Yeah, part of that, it's here.
Everything.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything. Altlayer was one of our latest sponsors, and so they didn't have necessarily the time to commit something more specific. That said, because it's so broad, it provides a lot of flexibility as far as what you want to work on.
So
Yeah.
what is the rule for it to be valid in this category? Then
Yeah. So.
we need to implement or integrate whatever use.
Yeah, so if you are interested in working with really any of these projects and you express said interest to me, I'm going to add you guys to a group with the mentors from the specific organizations. And so you can ask more specific questions about what would it entail and rather what are the metrics that I should be fulfilling for this to be deemed valid. Yeah.
So this is not one. It's not only old layer, but also item layer as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems so. Yeah. Yeah. But a lot of these organizations are collaborating. Like for example, if you look at the SoulForge, right? That's not just Arbitrum. So
Yeah, that's Plonky 3 and Circle.
they really like Bleach. I'm not sure if you guys know the reference, but this is from an anime, and it's on their main site. So yeah. Cool. Anything else? Cool. Remember, commit. If you join another team, definitely commit. But otherwise, yeah, have a lot of fun. Really push the boundaries and come up with some cool stuff. I'm very excited. Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Just one final thing. In the afternoon, we will have a session like brainstorm session, and we can start to explore like ideas around this or something else that you might be interested. You can also share something that you feel that is cool to work on, and maybe try to get some more people in your team. So yeah, and we will have some mentors here. So also feel free to ask them questions if you want. Okay,
Awesome.
that's it.
So I have an idea. I'm gonna think how at least integrate it into one of these projects.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm okay to share this afternoon during the session.
Yeah.
That'd
Cool.
be awesome. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you guys.